In the past, a Google search was sufficient to gain information about locations and where may be interesting to travel, or asking others who have been there, but now people can actually test out the destinations where they want to go through VR. Travel agencies can show them to the most popular locations, let them take their time exploring to really decide if this is the place they actually wish to travel, but the problem with this is that you do not get to actually experience the culture where you want to go, only the sights. Which means that people may choose to travel somewhere because it looks appealing to them, but they will have no idea if the actual culture and people are interesting or nice. Thus, they may throw themselves into a place that they don't really want to be. Plus, this may mean that in the future we will no longer have actual travel and we will instead have VR travel. This suggests a moving towards artificial experiences as they have the potential to exceed one's possibilities in the real world. Bravemind is currently doing therapy through VR for veterans suffering with PTSD, depression, or any kind of trauma, and this involves the administrator carefully looking at the responses of the patient and removing or including factors into the virtual world that the patient is seeing, as to not cause them further harm but to expose them enough to their past, which has been proven to activate the occipital lobe for sight, the temporal lobe for hearing, and many other regions such as the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory, as the game sort of triggers neurons to fire, and if this process is repeated enough, new neural pathways will form, allowing people's brains to interpret, understand, and deal with information more productively and efficiently. And this can be incredibly beneficial, but on the other hand, it can also be incredibly detrimental, because if a person is playing games in their spare time and are playing through an avatar which is constantly murdering, shooting, abusing, such as, for example, a character like Trevor from GTA 5, VR may encourage neural pathways to form that may create a player to firstly understand this behaviour and empathise with those who committed, so they can understand why a person murdered another person and their judgment upon that person won't be so harsh. Or excessive playing of the game through VR may form pathways that cause them to respond to certain situations with aggression or violence. So I've seen somebody else play this game, not this game, but Resident Evil something on a PS4, and it wasn't that scary because it's like a screen at least a meter away from you, but this was like right in my face and I couldn't even cover my eyes.
One of the most popular uses of VR in present day has been through entertainment, most commonly video games. The reason why people are turning to the idea of VR rather than AR for video gaming is mainly for the entertainment experience that VR is able to provide them and which AR is not. When people play with games with a VR set, it gives them a more realistic experience of what it would actually be like if you were in it. AR only provides a two-dimensional experience, whereas VR provides a three-dimensional one, actually letting the players participate as though they are the actual player of the game, not just someone pretending to play a character. It is becoming more popular because users are able to fully immerse themselves in the digital world without any outside distractions. Although VR entertainment can make video gaming and watching movies a more thrilling experience, there are also some fears that people have about it. One of the main ones is the idea that people will become more addicted to the VR world. Video gaming can already be seen as a common addiction among the youth, and with the idea of VR becoming involved, there is a great concern that people, especially the younger generation, will become addicted with a world that isn't real. With the addiction comes the issue of isolation within society, where some humans will no longer be connected to the real world and be more involved with the digital. With the modern world already being digitally dominated, the use of the VR only adds to the increasing fear that the human connection with reality will start weakening even further. The idea of falling in love digitally can seem like quite a strange concept. However, it is becoming an increasingly popular trend. The idea of digital relationships through virtual reality is that you can have a relationship with someone using avatars who may be from the other side of the world and feel as though they are physically in the same room as you. This takes it one step further from using online dating and chat boxes. Another concept of digital love via VR is for sexual purposes. People are beginning to fulfill their sexual needs and desires that they may not be able to find in real life through a digital world. There are apps being released that are allowing users to engage in sexual activity with performers. Some people are choosing this alternative over real life as it is a focus on their needs of self-pleasure rather than somebody else's. However, a really big concern that has been found is the idea of sexual harassment. Some users have discussed their experience with sexual harassment through VR, saying that although it is not real life, it doesn't mean it doesn't feel like real life. Although VR can focus on sexual relationships, it can also cause incidents of sexual harassment. And even though it is digital, because VR's goal is to make everything feel as realistic as possible, it can be equally as harmful and scarring to someone.